No matter who you are, you will have haters. John 15 verse 18 says, if the world hates you, know that it hated Jesus first. So if you have haters, know that God is greater than your haters. Lately you've been feeling the weight of your haters coming at you with their envy and their hate, scheming against you, throwing mud on your name. But God's gonna work it out despite their lies and game. God is greater, so much greater than your haters. God is greater, don't give up, it'll pay off later. God is greater, through the pain you're a giant slayer. Female friends who act like rivals whenever a man comes around. When there's a rooster in the hen house. That's what we're talking about today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share if you find value here. Before we get into today's topic, I want to tell you about this awesome mug that I am drinking out of. It is the Entrepreneur's Affirmation mug, which is the perfect mug for entrepreneurs and small business owners if you have big goals and big dreams. And it'll help you stay focused on your values and get started on your ideas and your big plans. It has affirmations to help you do that. It's available at CassandраMackMinistries.com. Simply click on the link that says merch. So let's dive in. We're talking about that friend who becomes insanely competitive and acts like a wild rival whenever a man is in the vicinity. Have you ever had a situation with the ladies when you're out with your girls, you're having a good time? Maybe you're at brunch. Maybe you're trying a new restaurant. Maybe you are at somebody's house who's having a gathering. And it's a girls' night, you're having a gathering, you're having a good time, laughing, joking, just enjoying one another's company. And a guy comes around. And one of your friends finds him attractive. And you notice her whole personality changes. And not only does her personality change, but she throws you under the bus. And you are like, we are supposed to be friends. And it's fine that you like him. Hopefully he likes you back and maybe something comes of it. But why do I got to be thrown under the bus and mistreated because you find him attractive? If this has ever happened to you, put a 5 in the chat. For the fellas, has that ever happened to you? You are with your boys, you having a good time, an attractive woman comes in the room, and one of your friends just really starts acting like, a person who you don't even recognize, and starts taking little jabs at you because he is attracted to her. And you might be thinking, can't you shoot your shot without putting me down? Like, why I got to be thrown under the bus for you to shoot your shot with her? Like, we still cool, do you, but why I got to be thrown under the bus? So fellas, if that's happened to you, put a 5 in the chat as well. And so it's interesting because when I think of the concept of a rooster in the hen house, right? When a rooster comes in the hen house, you'll notice that the dynamic between the hens change. And the rooster ends up, mounting all the hens. And so when you have a female friend who doesn't value her female friendships, and she uses her female friendships as placeholders to pass the time, and then she becomes another person when she's around the opposite sex, that could be a difficult thing to deal with. And again, nothing wrong with finding somebody attractive and wanting to get to know them. You may meet your Mr. and Mrs. Right while you're out with other people. That can happen. But why mistreat the people you're with because you find somebody else attractive or you want to get their attention? That is what we're talking about. That's the highlight. So it's not meeting them while you're out with other friends. It's why mistreat somebody else because you are interested in that person. So here are some signs when you have a female friend who acts like a rival when men come around. And if you have some more signs to add them in the comment section. So number one, their whole personality changes. And you are like, huh? Their whole personality changes. And you see that they are showing off. Now that's fine. That's them. That's if they want to do that, that's up to them. But it's something that you do notice. Two, they actually start auditioning like they are on an episode of American Idol. If you ever watch American Idol, when the contestants are coming out and they tell their backstory, you find out about, their upbringing, what inspired them to want to be a singer, and so forth. And so you will notice that when you are with the type of female who changes up when a guy comes around, you'll notice that she'll start to audition for him. Like she's on an episode of American Idol where I like to cook, and my favorite thing to cook is lasagna. And what's your favorite thing to eat? Oh, I make that from scratch. And you were looking like, no, you don't. But you're not a hater, so you're just staying out of it. But you're like, okay, do you, girl? Two, they try to sell the guy on the idea of them like they're on an episode of Shark Tank. And if you've ever watched Shark Tank, you'll notice that, you're trying to get investors to invest in your business idea. So, of course, you have to pitch the idea and you have to sell them on the idea of your business because you're trying to get people to invest in the business. And you will notice that when you have a female friend, and maybe the guy is not even showing interest, right? And she will try to sell him on the idea of her, like she's on an episode of Shark Tank, like she's pitching herself. And you're like, wow. Number three, they don't read the room. When you are dealing with a female who's extremely competitive, and sometimes they're not even attracted to the guy. It could just be when any guy's around, they go into this competitive mode. You will notice with some women, they don't read the room when it's clear that the guy may have their eye, who they have their eye on, may be interested in somebody else, but they don't let that stop them. So when you notice that they have this henhouse mentality, they could see the guy, and maybe the guy's interested in you, and he's making it apparent. Like you're at brunch, he comes over, he starts talking to you. Maybe he asks, could he send you a cup of coffee or whatever it is that you're drinking. So it's obvious that he's interested in you specifically, even though you might be with 5 other women, right? Let's just say. And he's talking to you, laughing. He asks you your name. And before you could get your name out, she jumps over and is like, well, my name is Molly. And so he's okay, Molly, nice to meet you, not being rude. And so he turns his attention back to you. So, do you come here often? Oh, yeah, we come here and Molly don't let you get a word in edgewise. And he positions himself, let's say, so he can make eye contact with you, so it is apparent that he wants to get to know you, right? Even if he doesn't want to impose on your time, but he's just trying to get a segue in so that you can exchange some sort of contact information, and then he may be on his way, however it works out. But the point that I'm making is that it is obvious to everybody except Molly that he is interested in you. But Molly don't let that stop her from auditioning like she's on American Idol and selling the guy on her like she's on an episode of Shark Tank. And you notice that this is a pattern. Like whenever you out with Molly, this is Molly's behavior, and you're like, here we go again. Here we go again. And let's say he asked for your social media information. And she's like, oh, well, you can find me on Instagram at Molly12345. And let's say he doesn't put it in his phone. He doesn't take her information. He's focused on you. And she starts getting irritated and upset. This is somebody you got to watch for. This is problematic behavior. I think we're up to number 5. When the object of their affection, or the object who they're trying to get attention from, doesn't reciprocate, sometimes they'll tell an embarrassing story about you if his eye is focused on you, or they'll take a jab at you that makes you give them the side eye. They'll bring up the most remember that time when, and you're like, oh, why are you telling a complete stranger who we met every bit of 5 minutes ago, and you just want to embarrass me? Like, he don't need to know that. He don't need to know about the time that happened. Why are you telling him this? Oh, I just thought it made for a funny story. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Or they'll take a jab at you. Let's say your name is Cindy. Well, Cindy, you know that, you always do blah, 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 blah. Then you can fill in the blanks. And you are like, why does he need to know that? You don't know him. Why does he need to know that I burnt the chicken, or I burnt the macaroni and cheese? Well, Cindy, you're not that good of a cook. Y'all not even talking about cooking. But she wants to boost herself up while throwing you down. And the thing is, y'all are supposed to be friends. This is her idea of friendship. And clearly he's interested in you. Back up. Chill. 6, any guy who shows the slightest interest in you or one of the other girls, if you're in a group, they automatically become interested in him. He walks in the room, the woman was not the least bit interested in him, was paying him no mind. Saw him walk in the room, paid him no mind. Maybe even said something negative about him. But as soon as he comes over and starts talking to you or someone else, and he's making you laugh, and you are just, digging the vibe, now all of a sudden she liked him too. Every bit of 10 minutes ago, you ain't like him. You was making fun of him when he walked in the room. But as soon as he showed interest in you, and you are enjoying the flow of the conversation, and you're like, okay, seems to be cool. I don't know, but the only way you're going to know is if you get to know one another. And anytime someone shows the slightest interest, she goes into like this rivalry mode. It's very difficult maintaining a friendship with someone who can't see friends as friends, but sees every woman as their rival. It's going to be very difficult. How can you build a friendship on care, concern, compassion, and consideration with someone who sees every woman as their rival, to the point where it's unhealthy and it's becoming a catty competition? How can you build a solid friendship of trust? She already showed you she's going to betray your confidence when she tell your most embarrassing moments and throw you under the bus to a complete stranger who you met every bit of 10 minutes ago. This is problematic behavior. Yet and still oftentimes, as women, we will let somebody play in our face. We will be upset about it, and we'll keep giving them a pass for behavior that's not cool. And forgiving doesn't necessarily mean giving a person a pass. I can forgive you, but we can no longer hang out because of how you get down. That don't work for me. So I forgive you. I hold no malice in my heart. I'm not mad. I don't hate you. I'm not going to talk about you to other people. But we can't hang out no more because you treat your friends as competitive rivals. So I can't build a foundation based on care, consideration, concern, and compassion, because as soon as somebody shows the slightest bit of interest, you start acting like you done lost your mind. You turn into another person. The unhealed parts of you start spilling over into our friendship. And that's a lot to put on somebody. And so at some point, a decision got to be made. Don't mean I don't have love for you, but we're not aligned. Amos 3:3 says, can two walk together except they be agreed? And if every time we go somewhere, when a man comes in the vicinity, you want to throw me under the bus or humiliate me or talk down to me. Now, if you want to audition like you want Shark Tank, that's on you. If you want to audition like you want American Idol, listen, do you. But where the problem comes in, because that's not my concern, where the problem comes in is once you bring me into the mix and throw me under the bus. You want to make a fool out of yourself? You are grown. You are grown. Be Pygmisha all day. However, why I got to be involved in the Pygmisha shenanigans? That's you if you want to behave that way. But once you're throwing other people under the bus, or you're telling embarrassing stories about people who have told you things in confidence, or situations that you witnessed, or you're just saying mean-spirited things to kind of lower their value in the eyes of the other person, hoping that they'll be turned off, that's not nice. That's not nice, friendly behavior, especially if the other person's never doing that to you. And so we got to do better as women. So that's another thing that we see. So these are just some things that you will notice. And again, men, this might happen in your men's groups when you go out with the fellas. So definitely let me know. Let me know. And so Amos 3:3, this is the scripture. Can two walk together except they be agreed? So if you have a friend who acts more like your rival, right? At some point, you want to just kind of pause, self-reflect, assess the friendship, and ask yourself, do I agree to this? Because if you are agreeing to walk your life in the direction of joy, peace of mind, I don't want no problems, I don't want no unnecessary stress, I don't want no beef, I just want to live my life. I want to live my life, do the things that bring me joy, do the things that God has purposed me to do, have a good time every now and then. I don't want no problems. I don't want no stress. I don't want no negative vibes. And so if you have somebody in your circle who you consider a friend, who is walking your life in the opposite direction of the things that you want to do, that's becoming problematic. Again, the first 2 to 3 examples that I shared, that's on them. That's not problematic to you. They're choosing to audition like they're on a episode of American Idol. Listen, that's them. They want to choose to act like they're on Shark Tank. That's on them. But the minute they begin to tell the embarrassing stories about you, or they are nice, nasty to you, or they're saying vicious, mean things to you in front of the person, and they're behaving in a way that is mean-spirited, that's where it's problematic, because now they're bringing you into the messiness. They want to be messy on their own. That's on them. So this is where you really, especially, let me be clear, especially when you're dealing with grown adults. Everybody's grown. Everybody's grown. And I'm at an age now where I am not the disrespect whisperer. If you remember the show, The Dog Whisperer, with Caesar, I forget his last name, it might be Milan. And whenever a family was having problems with their dogs, they would call on the Dog Whisperer. And he had this special training and this special way of relating to dogs where he was able to pinpoint the problem and help to get the dog back on track, to domesticate the dog, right? And that's fine with dogs. But when it comes to grown human beings, I am not the disrespect whisperer. So I'm not going to have 99 conversations. I'm not even going to invest my energy in a person's disrespect. Cross me once, you lost me. So I'm not going through all of that. Not for a grown-up. Absolutely not. And so the fact that I'm clear that I'm not the disrespect whisperer, and I'm not going to try to get inside your head to figure out why we're not going to have 20 conversations. Why you got to act like that when we get around? You know, why you got, we're not doing all of that. I can observe your fruit and move accordingly. So just be mindful, and it's your life. Listen, you want to be around friends who act like competitive rivals, who change their behavior towards you negatively, then do you. Live your life. Do what makes you happy. But if you know that this is not going to work for you because you want to build a friendship based on care, concern, consideration, because you really want iron sharpeners in your life, right? The Bible says, as iron sharpens iron, a man should sharpen the countenance of his friend, meaning mankind, as iron sharpens iron. And so the older I get, I know for me, I only want iron sharpeners in my life, right? And so this is Proverbs 27:17. As iron sharpens iron, a man's countenance should sharpen his friend. And so this analogy is letting us know that when you have a friend, you're supposed to make each other better. You are supposed to be able to uplift, encourage, learn from one another. You should be growing together. But if you're being immature, right, by going into rivalry, competitive mode, like 10 or 11 on middle school, then you're not sharpening me. You're actually dulling me. And I want iron sharpeners around my life. So sometimes we have to make hard decisions. But again, these are your relationships. And a lot of you write in about this, particularly a lot of women, particularly the younger women, write in and share stories about these type of incidents. And I would say to you, the question you want to ask yourself pertaining to that friend who turns into an aggressive, insane competitor when men are in the vicinity, as opposed to just kind of letting it flow. Whoever he's interested in, he gonna start talking to if the feeling's mutual and y'all are single. You may meet your Mr. Right, but you want to ask yourself if it's not that type of vibe where we can just kind of flow and respect each other. Is this an iron sharpener or is this an iron duller? Because the iron's supposed to sharpen iron. We're supposed to make each other better, lift one another up, be there for one another, encourage one another. And the friendship is supposed to be based on the C's: care, concern, compassion for one another, consideration, and the K of kindness. If we don't have that, what do we have as friends? Why are we even hanging out together? So these are some things to keep in mind, and I hope that you found today helpful. So, with that being said, if you are not a member of the Wednesday Wellness Club, what are you waiting for? You need to be a member. The Wednesday Wellness Club is a feature that comes with being a Tier 2 member of the Cassandra Mack YouTube channel. It's a therapeutic group. It meets twice a month. We meet twice a month by telephone conference call, and we focus on mental well-being, self-care through a biblical lens. So I would encourage you to become a member. Also, we have started our Rise Above the Haters journaling classes. The first class was yesterday, delivered by pre-recorded video. The next class is next week, Monday, and that will be a live stream. So it's 12 weeks, and we will alternate between a pre-recorded video, and then the following week will be our live stream, where we'll be journaling live, and I will be guiding you. And so if you have the Rise Above the Haters book, and you know that you don't want to do the journaling alone, you want to journal in community, and you want to commune in the comment section, and when we do the live stream, you want to be able to ask your questions in the chat. The opportunity for me to answer those questions and for us to have a dialogue about the book will only happen through the Rise Above the Haters journaling course. I would encourage you to become a Tier 2 member so that you can access the 12-week class. The information is posted in the community tab of the YouTube channel, on Facebook, and on the Cassandra Mack Ministries website. You'll see the dates and the times for each journaling class. So I want to make sure you know about that. And then I also want to say thank you to everyone who came to our Leaders and Entrepreneurs Zoom meeting that we had yesterday, where we focus on biblical affirmations to take your entrepreneurial calling to the next level. So I want to thank all the entrepreneurs. It was so nice meeting all of you, learning about your businesses, learning more about where you want to take your businesses. So, and it was a wonderful opportunity that you also shared. So many of the entrepreneurs who came to our Zoom meeting yesterday shared some great information with one another. So keep that coming. Our next meeting will be in July. I will post it. It will be the first Monday in July. And that information will be posted sometime this week, early next week, the latest. But the date will be the first Monday in July, I believe. I don't have my calendar in front of me, but we usually meet the first Monday of the month. So, unless it falls on a holiday, then it'll be the following Monday, unless that Monday is a holiday. So with that being said, have an amazing day. Take care of yourselves and each other. And this Thursday, we have a book club meeting. We're going to be working from the book Rise Above the Haters. And our topic will be why you need to be hater-proof when there's a calling on your life and you're operating in greatness. Specifically, when you're operating in greatness, you're changing your life for the better. You really need to be hater proof, because the haters are going to come when you begin breaking generational cycles. The haters are going to come when you begin to elevate on your job. The haters are going to come when you put yourself out there and start a business. So whenever you begin walking in your calling, walking in your greatest, you've got to be hater proof. And we'll talk about what that means, right? The haters are still going to come. They're going to do what they're going to do. But the difference is, when you're hater proof, it's about how you respond and how you move, and it's less about them. Take care of yourselves and each other. Until we talk next time. Bye-bye.